let's talk about magazines because I keep waiting for the moment where they will have their comeback, but this never happens. And I need to talk about this. I need to talk about magazines because I do love them. Maybe I'm one of the rare millennials that still buy magazines, but I do it. I do it because I really love them. Uh, and I want to talk about magazines. Maybe this will help to get other people excited as well, and then we can finally have like the magazines come back, um, as we had with vinyls, and also CDs and yeah, camcorders, the old digital cameras, like all those things. You know, I don't know, maybe, but yeah, I let me first start like talking about why I love magazines so much. I think that it's all my parents' fault because I've grown up in a house with a lot of magazines. My parents, they really liked magazines, and they have like a shoes store. So they always had like fashion magazines, which were my favorite, but they also had like news magazines and business magazines, all those types of magazines at home. And I've grown up seeing my parents like reading a lot of magazines, and I was also like reading them or just like, you know, uh, going through them, taking a look like at the pictures and everything. Uh, because I don't know, it's a nice format. It's like a big format. And yeah, like one of my very like fond, uh, most fond memories is basically like being with my dad. Uh, and he was reading like magazines. We were on the floor next to his to their bedroom, and he was reading like magazines, and I was like laying down next to him. Uh, and I can, yeah, like picture this scene, and I can remember like the sound of the, like the magazines, like when he was flipping the pages. And I love this sound. I love this sound. Let me do it right now for you. Yeah, I just love I love this sound. So I've grown up like with that, with parents that really loved magazines, and I've grown up like reading them. So I had this at home. And when I decided to go to journalism school, my dream was to work in this publishing company in Brazil, the biggest back then. I don't know if they are still the biggest one, but back then they were, Abril. And I wanted to, like work there so bad because basically all the magazines that we had, they were from this publishing company. And every time we would go to the coast, to Guarujá or to Riviera, uh, we would pass by their building in São Paulo. it was like a big building with their logo on top of the building. And for me, that was synonymous of like magazines, you know? So when I went to the journalism school, my dream was to work for a magazine. And I achieved that dream like on my second year, like when I was ending my second year in school. I got an internship in a business magazine on that like publishing company. And yeah, like I was realizing my dream. It was like a school for me because I do believe that this is where like I learned how to write. This is where I learned how to be a proper journalist, you know, like, and to check all the facts and to create a story and to write a story in a nice way. Because like, even though the topic business was not a sexy topic, we were making it sexy with our writing. So like my editors and my peers, they were all teaching me how to do that, and this is where I learned how to like write in a nice way, basically. uh, in the end, I left because it was a very toxic environment, uh, and it was not for me. You know, like I realized that that environment was not for me. I didn't like to compete with other people for space. So, yeah, a lot of ego, and it was not for me at all. So I left. But I had that experience, and I was in the same building as all the other writers for the biggest magazines in Brazil. Uh, and yeah, it was nice, you know, like, and even though my experience was not the best, let's say, uh, I still like loved magazines. But in Brazil, like over time, they were, yeah, I think that, like in general, like around the world, like the magazine business, like the print business is dying. And back then, this was like 2013, uh, yeah, 2013, 14. Like the magazine industry was already like going down, so it was not the best time to be in that business. Uh, so yeah, I left, and the magazine business was going down. A lot of magazines, they were closing. So the news stands, they were also like getting, you know, like smaller, and a lot of news stands in Brazil, we call them bancas. A lot of bancas, they were closing because there were like not a lot of people buying magazines or like newspapers. So a lot of bancas newsstands, they were closing. Uh, and yeah, it was kind of sad. Like for whoever loved this like industry, it was sad to see what was happening. But we still like kept buying magazines. There was one that we really liked called Vida Simples. The literal translation is like simple life, and they talked about, yeah, how to live a better life, a lot of self-development stuff and self-help, a lot of articles from the School of Life, which I love, by the way. And yeah, we were always buying like their magazines and some others as well in Brazil. But when we came to the Netherlands, and then we went to this bookstore here in Rotterdam called Donner, and they had this huge section with magazines, both like in Dutch and in English. And I was like, what is this? This is like heaven. Like how is this even possible nowadays, you know? Uh and it was really nice. I think that this is my favorite part of the whole store, like the magazines section. Every time I go there, I go there to check like the magazines, and yeah, I just love it. And it really brings me a lot of joy when I see a lot of magazines, like there. And I see people flipping through the magazine, and I see people buying magazines. Like, it really brings me a lot of joy. I don't know why. I think that because I have a lot of good memories with magazines. Uh, I just love them, and I love when people also love them. So, yeah, it really brings me a lot of joy. And there's this one place in Amsterdam. Uh, I don't know the name right now. Let me check 1 second. Let me check the name because it's really uh, worth it. And it's a very nice. So, okay, so the name is Athenaeum Boekhandel. Handel. I can leave the name here in the description. And probably I'm, yeah, saying it all wrong. Athenaeum Boekhandel. Uh, but they have such a good selection of magazines. So every time I go to Amsterdam, I go to this place. It's, yeah, for me, it's like heaven. They have magazines from all over the world, all types of magazines. And it's really like, yeah, a joy. That place is synonymous with joy. I love that place. And it's right next to the American Book Center. Uh, I also think that this is the name, which is a huge bookstore with like books in English. Also, one of my favorite places in Amsterdam. So I really recommend, if you're going to Amsterdam, go check these like places, the magazine store and the bookstore like right next to it. Really, really, really nice. Uh, and like I think that living here in the Netherlands really brought magazines back to my life. First, I started to buy like a lot of monocles. So I don't know if you know this magazine, Monocle. Uh, it's a combination of like news and uh, business and design, fashion. It's a combination of like a lot of topics that I really like and that I'm interested in. And it was created for a guy because basically he wanted something like that for him and he was not finding. So he created the magazine for himself, basically. He's the founder also of Wallpaper, another very nice magazine that he sold a few years, like yeah, after creating the magazine. So first I started like to buy a lot of like monocles, and I really love this magazine. Really love this magazine. Really nice. Uh, Nice curation of articles, and they have really good writers, a nice design. Basically, Monaco represents what I want to be, like someday. So it helps me to visualize that and to feel that I'm living that life. Uh, but also, like, I started to buy a lot of like fashion magazines, like Vogue, uh, and yeah, others. I'm very boring with like the magazines that I buy. I think they are very mainstream. I don't buy like the underground magazines or more. indie magazines. Not because I don't like them, just because I don't know them very much. Uh, so yeah, I need to give them a chance. But yeah, living here brought like the magazines back to my life, and I really wish, I really wish that magazines will have their comeback as well, you know, because it's such a nice format. Yesterday I went to the park because it was like a nice weather here in Rotterdam, sunny day. So I went to the park to enjoy the sun a little bit, and I brought with me the Vogue Brasil, the Brazilian edition of Vogue, and I was reading like this one with Bruna Marquezine on the cover. Really beautiful cover, by the way. Uh, and this one I brought from Brazil. So when I was at home, I yeah took some magazines from my parents. Also this one, also Vogue Brasil with Bad Bunny on the cover. And yeah, they've been doing a really great job with the covers and the editorials, like beautiful pictures, beautiful pictures. And yesterday I was reading the article with Bruna Marquezine. I don't know if you know her. Probably you know her. She's an actress, huge in Brazil, and she also started in Blue Beetle in 2022. So she's also doing some things like internationally. She's great. She's beautiful. She seems very nice. And we were also watching this series with her on Disney when we were in Brazil called Amor da Sua Vida, Amor da Minha Vida, something like that. But in English, I think that they translated as Benefits with Friends. Uh, and she's, oh my gosh, she's so good. Like, she acts like so naturally, like, and it really like seems that she's not acting at all, that you're just watching someone living their life. So yeah, she's the whole package, like whole package, beautiful, like very talented, very good actress. She seems very nice, dress very like nice as well. uh and I was reading the article with her, and I was like feeling very proud to be like Brazilian, to read this article from like a Brazilian magazine with beautiful pictures, uh, beautiful styling. And yeah, it was like such a good moment in the park. And I was having, yeah, it was such a joy to be there reading magazines. And I was like, they need to come back, like I know that they've never went away completely. But magazines, they have to come back as vinyls and CDs, like they're all coming back. Because in the end, think about it. Magazines are a place where hopefully very good writers and journalists, they are thinking about what are the best, the most interesting things that people should know or should read about. They are doing this curation for us, like they are curating everything for us. And in a world with a lot of information, a lot of things like everywhere, having professionals, like doing this yeah job for us, it's awesome, because they will kind of like, yeah, curate everything and say like these are the nicest things that people should read about, and they will do this job and they will write beautiful articles. If we're talking about like a good magazine, of course, uh, they will write beautiful articles, and then like we will not only be reading, which is also like a good thing, we will be learning as well, learning about things that are important somehow, learning about things that we haven't thought about learning, but somehow like help us grow and expand our horizon, and our perspective about the world. Um, so, and yeah, and they also have beautiful pictures, beautiful design, beautiful pictures. So it is a joy, like to flip through magazines. It's way nicer than to just like scroll my phone. Way nicer. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm like old. And when I was young, magazines they were like huge and a big part of my life. But I just yeah, I wish that like the new generations they could find the same joy in magazines as I do, like that they could discover magazines and say, this is so nice. I should be buying more magazines. I should be, yeah, reading more magazines because it's nice. And I think it goes along with all the offline trends that we are seeing, like, but so far I haven't seen uh yeah magazines coming back. So this is me pleading for you and the internet to help make magazines come back and have their moment again, because yeah, it is amazing. It is a beautiful format to yeah get informed and to see beautiful pictures and to dream. So I love it. I love it. Now we have The Devils Wear Prada 2 coming out, which also talks about like the printing like industry, and maybe this will help the magazine business like come back. Maybe, I don't know. My hope is that it does, and my hope is that more people discover magazines again because they are awesome. And yeah, if you haven't like bought a magazine in a long time, this is the sign for you to go to the newsstand or the bookstore like closest to you and just have your moment, like discovering the magazines and flipping through them and buying one that looks nice for you, and just go to a coffee place, ask for your favorite drink, and then have your moment with your magazine and your coffee. I guarantee this will bring you a lot of joy. So do that. Do that and come back here to let me know how it went. So yeah, let's make magazines happen. I do hope that they will happen again. Okay, that's it for today. If you have thoughts, please comment here with kindness. And yeah, take care, se cuida, and see you in the next video. Ciao.